I'm Lisa Erlinson, and I wanted to talk to you for a minute about my workshop, Becoming a Quilt Doctor. Most of us have been approached by a friend, family member, sometimes a neighbor, and ask if we could fix a quilt for them. And they think because we make quilts that we know how to do other things, and sometimes it's not that easy. And so this is a class where we spend several hours working on skills that you probably already have. You just didn't realize that this was how you would approach doing a quilt repair. We talk about what types of repairs there are, and we have examples of them, and then we practice them. You get a practice piece so that you're not actually working on a living quilt. Most doctors don't start out with living patients. They start out with cadavers, and that's what we're doing. And so we will learn how to identify and approach different types of damage. We'll talk about bindings, we'll talk about rips, we'll talk about holes, we'll talk about seam separations, we'll talk about the different types of fabric deterioration, and very importantly, we also talk about when it's time to let the quilt go. There are some quilts that we can't save. We can't save them all. And so then we talk about some different options to consider to commemorate that quilt's life. And so that's what we do in this class. Now, I supply you with a quilt block that has all the damage you will need. And I supply you with a workbook that gives you step-by-step information, and then we talk about it, we work on it in class, so you've got time to try it, ask questions. I show you how to do some conservation rather than repair. Conserving is just like taking care of what's there, saving what exists without trying to replace it. And so we talk about that, and then we brainstorm. I've got a stack of quilts that I bring, and we look at the quilts to see how would you approach it. And there's no wrong answer, really. There's just different answers. And if you have a quilt that you want to repair, you've been asked to repair something like that, bring it. I don't want you to work on it first. I want you to work on the practice pieces first, but you can bring that and work on, get some ideas of how to work on it. And let me just give you an example. This is something I am working on for a friend right now. Okay, see the blue there is not, that's not supposed to be white. That is supposed to be covered with blue fabric. This is a sailboat quilt, and the blue is the background, and somebody loved it very, very much. They loved it literally to pieces. And so I am doing repairs on this. Now, what you have to do may be more drastic, or maybe it's something very simple. Maybe there's just a bunch of seams that have broken open. Anyway, whatever it is, I really hope that you will take this workshop, Becoming a Quilt Doctor, and we will get to meet, and you will get to learn from me and learn from your fellow classmates. I don't have all the answers. Everybody's got great ideas, and so we try to have time to share that information. And you can ask questions, you can offer suggestions, and I know that if you come, you are going to have a great time. And I've enjoyed talking quilts with you, and I hope to see you soon. Check out the supply list that your guild is going to provide, and I'll see you at Becoming a Quilt Doctor.